To put it simply, this docuseries can be summed up in 3 words: Blackness, belonging, and connection. In the summer of 2022, when the world was still recovering from COVID-19, we gathered at the historic Dunbar Pavilion in Tucson, Arizona, and created a space with the intention of bringing Black strangers together to recover and restore and to reflect through intergenerational conversations. Here are their stories.
So I'll go first. My name is Brieanna Chillious, but I like to go by Brie, like the baking cheese. It's a privilege to be here, to be sitting here with you.
And my name is Algurie, and it's great to be here with you as well.
Algurie, why don't you tell us about yourself?
I am a health advocate here in the community. I love helping people. I'm retired after 34 years from the defense industry. I've worked for General Dynamics, Hughes, and then Raytheon. I'm an Army vet.
Nice. Well, for me, I was actually born in Newark, New Jersey. For years, I've made Tucson my home. I am a children's librarian over at Quincie Douglas for the Pima County Library system. So I'm really just privileged to really work with an awesome, amazing, beautifully rich, diverse community. I love it. My question for you, just within life itself, how does your creativity express itself?
My creativity expresses itself through many ways, because everything that I do, I have to be creative sometimes. Advanced directives is one of my major projects that I do, because COVID showed us how unprepared we were, helping our loved ones navigate through that. If they're in the hospital, what do we do? What do they want? So I have to be creative.
I love that you spoke about that, because that mirrors what I do at my job. Mm-hmm. And then also the creativity element. I do a lot of DIY, so I love making things for people. So It's weird that it's never words of affirmation, but it's like I get a hit of joy when I see someone enjoying what I made them, handmade. What values or ideas and traditions would you like to see preserved? And which ones are you happy to see us shifting out of?
What I want to see us preserve or even get stronger is 4 words. It takes a village. This is something to me we've kind of gotten away from, but some of us, oldies but goodies, have held on to it, that we want to preserve our community. You didn't do something stupid down the street and didn't see a neighbor come and correct you immediately.
Yeah.
But that's something I would love to see preserved, is that we as a community continue to help raise and engage in our community so that we can make it stronger. Because unfortunately, there's more things out there against us than for us.
I totally agree with you. I want to echo those same sentiments of what you had just shared, in addition to dealing with anti-Blackness. And it's now more important. And of course, the latest thing that has happened, which was Buffalo a couple of weeks ago. Exactly. I think I echo those sentiments of what you're saying. I think it's now more important, more than ever. There are certain individuals and there are certain groups out there that just don't want to see us in our joy.
So what does Blackness mean to you? And what has shaped your Blackness?
I know that there are people that will try to buy what God gave you, what God blessed you naturally. So I dealt with a little bit of anti-Blackness when I was in grade school. And I would have boys telling me, you're ugly, you're disgusting, and you're all these things. And it made me feel ashamed of my Blackness. I was ashamed of it. So I thank my mother for affirming me and really creating an environment where it was just an unapologetic household. I have to continue that affirmation work myself, because we don't get that enough. We don't get that a lot, especially women of my complexion. We're told we are not the ideal. So I would just say that just women in general, for them to stand in their Blackness and really be unapologetic about it in a way they affirm their identity. You're the first and foremost person that you look in the mirror every day and say, I'm enough. How about you?
Even with me being relatively fair-skinned, went up to one of my cousins to play. My mom was visiting, and I'll never forget, these kids are looking at them and looking at me, denying that I'm their cousin, because they looked at me that I was clean. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that as long as I live. And I didn't understand it then, because I'm looking at them, no, that is my cousin. But they're all saying these hurtful things. So again, this is the kind of experience that do shape us as we go through life. And we try to press upon our daughters who they are.
Yeah.
All of this is, to me, shaping my Blackness is my experience. And you're right, my mom and my dad put those values in me to know who I am.
What piece of advice would you give to someone who is thinking of moving here?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care where you're moving, but you need to always know, one, why are you moving there? What do you want out of this place that you're moving?
What I would say is, for anyone who is moving down here, find out what the communities are like here. Exactly. Like really, really do your research and really reach out to organizations. They're always happy to hear from community members. And that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be stationed community members. It could be outside or potential new community members coming in to move into the neighborhood.
What is bringing you joy lately?
Oh my gosh. So right now, I'm overseeing the summer learning program over at Quincie Douglas for our kids for this upcoming summer. I love seeing our kiddos at the library again. And so how do you tell a kid that reading is fun without having to tell a kid that reading is fun? It brings me joy when doing your job and not having to emphasize or overstress like messages, because the kids know, at least in my realm of my line of work anyway.
So bringing me joy is all the volunteering. I'll be honest, again, I'm a health advocate. I'm retired, so I can do stuff that I love to do. And what brings me joy is when I can help someone. And I'm the kind of person, I like being behind the background if at all possible, because I'm not trying to get a pat on the back or all that kind of stuff. It brings my heart, it's making my heart stronger and helping the community no matter what it is, however I can impact it. Through whether through my coalition, through whatever I'm doing. What is life about for you? What do you find most gratifying in your life right now?
Within my role as a community member, I find it gratifying when I can help somebody. And even just within my profession as a librarian, I have that power to extend my hand, because we all know about the whiteness in librarianship, and it's a really nasty history. And so we need to diversify this profession a lot more, so that way we can have a lot more empathetic connections and community with our patrons. But where I find gratitude is just helping people, but specifically my Black folk.
Well, life for me right now is starting to get back out into the community. I'm having opportunities to do more tabling or resource fairs. So again, so we can reconnect and let people know they've got to start taking care of their health, because of the pandemic, everybody stayed away, shut down, everybody stayed away from doctors. So right now we're trying to get everybody get out there and get your preventative maintenance done. So now we have this opportunity to be there. So this has been a really gratifying 2022 for me.
Could you tell us about a particular challenging experience you've had as a Black Tucsonan? How did you navigate that challenge?
Probably the biggest one would be promotions. I worked for a long time.
Yeah.
I had a lot of respect from a lot of my managers, from other departments, and a lot of respect from the people that worked underneath me, as I was at supervisory level. But to get some of those promotions it was not easy. And navigating it is that I guess I had to think about Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
When they go low, I go high. Mm-hmm. Because I can't stop being me. And me is being positive. And let them one day have to answer to their negativity. Because I want to keep myself as positive as possible.
Yeah. My experience kind of mirrors yours in a way. So I want to say the challenges that I've faced, and also how I navigate through that, is just acknowledging that no matter what I do, no matter how much I code switch, because I speak a few other languages other than English, I will be perceived as a threat. And that's been my life. I've been in spaces and I've been in places where I can articulate my intelligence in a way that will, make people think like, oh my goodness, does she really work here? Does she really does she really deserve a seat at the table?
It's amazing.
That has to change. And so it's very disheartening. It's very depressing. So I'm looking for ways to how could I increase diversity? Just people who look like me, who actually have the degrees and who actually can contribute, really lend their voice to work projects and programming that the county may not have ever seen.
Right. So in what groups, spaces, and activities do you feel a sense of belonging? What drew you to those groups or spaces?
I don't think I have any spaces that I can
do.
I mean,
I think those kiddos got you in a space where you feel belong.
Yeah.
You feel like when they come and you're able to give them that love of reading.
Yeah.
That's a sense. That's just like myself. When I'm looking at my health advocacy, when I'm out there, that's my belonging. That's where I need to be. Because I remember I always ask that question, what is my purpose? What is my purpose?
Yeah.
And so you have to think about your purpose is, what problems are you solving?
Yeah. No. That's a great,
Who are you impacting?
Yeah.
What keeps you up at night? What is your stomach churning for? And when you're saying that I want to bring about the advocacy of librarians, I know exactly what you're talking about, because you very seldom walk into a library and see someone that look like us. You don't see that. Same thing with even our advocacy going into some of these healthcare facilities or some of these businesses. You do not see us.
No.
You don't see it. So my thing is, that's why that belongingness is where we feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And where we can make that biggest impact. That speaks volumes when I think of all the things that we're all about. And I am just so stoked sitting here talking to you. This is so awesome.
So, Algurie, where do you see yourself at the age of your storytelling partner?
You look like you're at the age of where I was working. I was a working mom with 2 daughters. I was a Girl Scout leader.
Yes.
But what I really love about being that Girl Scout leader is having that impact on those young girls.
I would say you are someone who I hope to be when I'm to your age. Wise and knowledgeable and a really invaluable resource. What's your question for me?
What do you appreciate about the person across from you?
I couldn't have been paired up with a better partner. Like, I'm just super appreciative of just you sharing parts of your stories with me, and that I thank you.
You're welcome. And for you, I appreciate your spirit. This is what I realize. I love the spirit that you have personified here, of the wanting to make this community stronger, to make it better, starting at the library and trying to make it adaptable so we can get more kids involved, to want to be and recognize the importance of, to follow in your footsteps. So therefore, I appreciate knowing about you, knowing about your struggles, knowing about the things that you have done. And kudos to your mom for all that she has done, because when I sit here and look at you, this is who I see. This is what she has given to the world. And that's how I look at all our young people.
Thank you.
And then, what do you appreciate about yourself?
I appreciate that I'm a very giving person. Or at least I try to be.
So what I appreciate about myself is, again, those skills, those gifts that God has given me, to not only give of myself, give wherever I can to help any circumstance that I can, that I want to use these gifts in such a way to make an impact into the community.
Yeah.
we are able to do so much more together.
Yes.
I can't even emphasize that enough.
Yes.
You know, that should be put on my tombstone. That's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
That's a wrap.